Thank you so much, Paris. So, firstly, good evening, everyone. How are you all today?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good
Fine.
evening, ma'am.
I'm fine, ma'am.
Great. I hope you all are fine and stay fine. And I really hope you all are excited for the festive season as well, just like we all are. So, you all are from most of you all from research batch. So, in this session, I'll basically give you detail on what we expect from you when we tell you to write research articles, what all are the things that you must consider while writing your article, and what all you can do to ensure that your article is the one that is getting selected for being published. So let me know once screen is visible. Is my screen visible to you all?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Um,
Yes, ma'am.
so let's begin. Before we go on to the PPT and it becomes monotonous, can someone tell me what you understand by the term research and what do you mean when we say ki I've done some research work and I've been assigned a research task. So what do you understand by the term research?
Ma'am, a detailed study
Ma'am,
about.
I guess for knowledge, yeah.
Uh, do one thing. You all can just write it down in the chat box because it'll be hard for you all to speak because many of you might speak together. Just write it down in the chat box. I know it'll take a little bit of time, but write it down in the chat box and I'll read it aloud for you, everyone else. Establishing facts and reaching out to a conclusion, thoroughly going through matter in detail, a detailed study, gather information, study. Yeah. Research is careful consideration of study regarding a particular concern, a research problem. Very specific definition, Ansh Pandey, and right definition as well. So, yeah, research basically means finding out or digging on an already existing information that is there, or just finding new facts or data relating to a particular task. So, where's the screen? I'll just be sharing it now. Research means collecting information. True, Soumya. It means collecting information. Someone has raised hand. Vivekanand Oda. You've raised your hand. You can speak if you want to. Okay, I believe not. I believe not. So we'll just continue. Detail and careful study. Research is basically get into the matter in detail, which can be understood by anyone. Very true. Thank you all. And yeah, your definitions are pretty accurate. So that is research, and I'm pretty sure you all have an idea of what research means. Collecting information. True. Um, you all have an idea of what research is, and you all are pretty accurate in that. So, the creation of new knowledge or the use of existing knowledge in a new and creative way so as to generate new concept, methodologies, and understanding is what research basically is. And when we come to legal field, the term changes to legal research. Adding legal makes it a little bit more, I'd say, narrower because legal research specifically relates to legal issues. So, legal research allows you to get more clarity about the issue at hand and anticipate different arguments Now, when we talk of research, research is not just something that we do while writing paper. Whether you're a law student, you're a lawyer, you're an advocate, even if you're a judge, say for that matter of fact, or a teacher, at every stage, once you join your law school, you'll have to do research. Even the assignments that you make, even for that you do research. You dig deep into the topic to write your answers while you're studying for your examination, whatever the case might be. You do research at every point of time, since you have entered your law school. So legal research allows you to get more clarity about the issue at hand and anticipate different arguments that may come up in the court, giving you more confidence to present your case. Now, this definition is specifically applicable to the lawyers and advocates. However, whether you're writing your research papers, whether you're writing your thesis, dissertations, articles, doing an internship, legal research is used everywhere. Now, there are various kinds of legal research. I'll only be dealing with two, that is doctrinal and non doctrinal. Now, doctrinal legal research basically is more theory based, whereas non doctrinal is more practical based. And doctrinal legal research जो होता है, in that uh, it is called as a library based armchair research method. Now, the reason is that you can do doctrinal legal research method just by sitting in your chair, going to library, referring to various journals, books, commentaries, articles, and other sources. Whereas non-doctrinal includes field work, a lot of field work. What you do is you take surveys, you give questionnaires to people, and then write your research paper, and that is why it is more field work related. Now, doctrinal research is more concerned with the question of what is law and studying law exclusively, whereas non-doctrinal legal research is more connected with the non-legal aspects that affect law. So I'll tell you the basic difference. जब आप डॉक्ट्रिनल लीगल रिसर्च करते हैं, ठीक है, you have a question at hand, say that I have a question on it is pretty simple, related to rape under the Indian Penal Code. What I'll do, I'll go to my library, I'll go to internet, and I'll see the sources. I have textbooks, I have commentaries, I have articles on net. We have the NCRB data, which also we can use, that is National Crime Records Bureau data, to see whether the incidence of rape has increased or decreased or whatever the case is. Then we have sites like Manupatra, etc., where we can access information on cases. So I'll do all this, I'll write my research paper, and I'll submit it. Whereas in non doctrinal, we are something concerned with the applicability of law, its effect on the society and people living across. If example, we are talking about CAA. So the impact of CAA. Now, for this, what I have done, I have applied non doctrinal legal research. I go in fields, I take surveys, I ask questions to people, and then develop my data around it, develop my research paper around it. That is non doctrinal legal research. So, automatically, the scope of non doctrinal legal research is much wider than that of the doctrinal legal research. Now, when we come to the steps of article writing and writing a research paper, what are the things you should do? I've divided into four. Firstly, what is your research question? It is very important for you all to understand your research question or the topic on which you're going to do research. If the topic is really vague or it is something that you haven't ever heard of or understood, then it'll be really hard for you all to build up a study around it. So before you even begin thinking of writing your research paper, first understand what your question or topic is. Then what you do is identify your headings and subheadings. Now, what you'll do once you have your question or topic at hand and you have understood it, then develop your headings and subheadings for that particular article. Say, for example, I have taken the subject IPC and I was never interested in it. Okay, and I am given the topic of misappropriations, if example. So I take that, and I've never heard of it, neither do I know of it. I'm a first year law student, if example. So what I'll do first, I'll try to understand what the topic is. I'll read some articles, and I'll go to the bare acts and try to understand the concept of misappropriation. Once I've done that, now I can think of starting. I can just start to think of what are the things that I should write in my articles. Now, if you're given a topic, you're assigned a topic, you'll have a basic understanding, you'll have a basic thinking. Okay, if I'm writing a research paper, these are the things that I want to include, or these are the headings and subheadings that I want people to understand. Because as one of you has stated that research is something where you write your concept in such a way that anyone who is not from your background can also understand it. Keeping that concept in mind, we need to write our research paper. So while we talk of writing research paper, your paper must, when you present your paper or when you write your paper, it you must be able to impress three kinds of people. I'll say, first one is a first year law student who has just entered the law school and has no idea about the technicality of law. Second is a commoner, a layman who has no idea of what law is, but once he reads your paper, even he gets an idea of that particular question. He gets clarity. And the third is your teachers or academicians or judges of the court, whoever you want to take your case, maybe, because they are someone who have a clear understanding of the concept. So a judge, a layman, and a law student, these three people, if they understand your research paper, if you write your concepts in such a way that all these three people are able to understand, then your research paper, then your arguments are perfect. That is something you can say. So to ensure that, what you must do is identify your first research question properly, and then write your headings and subheadings. While writing your headings and subheadings, do not just stick to vague headings and subheadings, because it does not make any sense. So for example, I'm writing of ADR, alternate dispute resolution. So my topic is on ADR in India. So, for example, I'll what my headings and subheadings might be in this particular case. First, obviously, I'll write an abstract and I'll write my keywords. I'll have an introduction to the topic. These are some things that we cannot change. These will obviously be there. After that, what I can write, I can include the background of ADR, his history or background, whatever the case may be. Then various concepts of ADR, various mechanisms of alternate dispute resolution. Then my subheadings can be explaining all these kinds of concepts. Then some case laws, recent developments in ADR in India, and a conclusion. These can be some headings and subheadings. So identify your research question and identify your headings and subheadings. To ensure that once you identify your research question and understand it, just pause for a moment and think. If you as a law student would search that particular topic, what is the information that you all want? If you get an idea of what is the information that you would want, you would identify the exact headings and subheadings that you must include. Now, once you have identified your headings and subheadings, the third step is to make a rough. Never, you can never write a perfect article in the first try. The more times you read, the more times you. Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, uh, once you've identified your headings and subheadings, what you will do is make a rough, because आप कभी भी एक बार में परफेक्ट आर्टिकल लिख नहीं सकते। आप जितनी बार पढ़िएगा उतनी बार आपको नई आपको लगेगा यार ये चीज मिसिंग है, यार ये पॉइंट होती तो और अच्छा होता। सो व्हाट यू विल डू इज मेक अ रफ ड्राफ्ट, अपने हेडिंग्स और सब हेडिंग्स बना दिया, fill in your make a rough of information that you want to provide, and then keep adding on to that information. आप आपने मान लीजिए एक बार लिख लिया, Then what you do is you revise your article, you reread it, you go on to edit it. तो आपने मान लीजिए अपना ड्राफ्ट बना लिया, you have written your headings and subheadings and filled in information. Read it as many times as possible, because the more you read, the more you'll get an idea on what are the other things that you can include in this particular article. एंड आपको ये भी पता चलेगा कि आपने क्या क्या गलतियां की है. नाउ वेन एवर यू राइटिंग एन आर्टिकल, देर माइट बी, आई एम नॉट सेइंग देर ऑलवेज विल बी, but yeah, generally there are grammatical errors, there are spelling errors, and that again makes your article a little less, I'd say, trustworthy and a little less effective to the reader. So what you do is revise again and again, edit it as much as possible, and always keep a few days in your hand. जब भी आप कहीं कंपटीशन में भी अपना आर्टिकल, अगर से फॉर एग्जांपल आप आर्टिकल राइटिंग कंपटीशन में जा रहे हैं, always keep a day in your hand or day or two in your hand, ताकि आप अपना आर्टिकल पढ़ पाए और एडिट कर पाए, so as to ensure that there are no mistakes. So these are the 4 steps that you must follow while you're writing your article. Now, what to remember? These are a few things that you need to remember while you're writing your article. सबसे पहला तो है length of the article. Now, specifically, I'm talking about when you're going to a competition or you're writing your research papers for publication. तो जब भी ऐसा कुछ होता है, then the length of the article is specified. काफी बार आपने देखा होगा when you are going to write a research paper or you want to write a paper, तो जो कॉलेजेस होते हैं, they specify कि 1500 से 3000 वर्ड्स के बीच की केस कमेंट्री होनी चाहिए. लॉन्ग आर्टिकल्स 5000 से 7000 वर्ड के बीच होंगे, शॉर्ट आर्टिकल्स 2000 से 3000 वर्ड्स के बीच होंगे. सो जब भी ऐसा कुछ स्पेसिफाई किया गया हो, देन प्लीज स्टिक टू द वर्ड लिमिट. No, do not exceed the word limit. Don't think exceeding it would give you extra points or would impress people. No, until and unless you've done extraordinary research or written in an extraordinary manner, नहीं कुछ नहीं होने वाला अगर आप लेंथ एक्सीड कर दोगे आर्टिकल का प्रिस्क्राइब लेंथ. So if the length is prescribed, then complete your article within those words. And do not do this ki just write 500 to 600 words and say okay, this is my article. No, right? When length is not prescribed, go for a minimum of 1500 words. I'm saying minimum. Maximum agar nahi diya hai, then go on how much ever you can, but a minimum of 1500 words, so that at least there are 5 pages ki हाँ चलो इस बंदे ने कुछ तो लिखा है, दिखना तो चाहिए. So ensure that the length of the article is appropriate. Then language and grammar. So the next part is language and grammar. Language and grammar is really important, because if आपका article का language और grammar सही नहीं होगा, then the impact it has on the audience, that is the readers, it won't be as good as possible. So what you do is ensure that the language and grammar of your particular article is correct. That is why it is really important to revise and reread your articles as many times as possible. Now, also one thing that you can do is once you have written your article or your research paper, send it to your peers, send it to your teachers, or if your parents are in law field and if they have some time to spare, give it to them and uh, ask them to read your article, because they'll come up with a perspective of as a reader, not as a writer. आपके हिसाब से तो आपका आर्टिकल टॉप क्लास है, इट इज परफेक्ट, बट आप क्या पता एज अ रीडर जब सामने वाला पढ़ रहा हो, he might come up he or she might come up with new point of views that you can incorporate, and that is also another reason why you must keep 1 or 2 days in your hands before submitting your article. Scannability. Now, the Third part that you need to remember is scannability. Scannability of an article comes when you write headings and subheadings clearly. Scannability का basic मतलब यही होता है कि अगर मेरे पास enough time नहीं है, मान लीजिए मेरे पास 5 मिनट है और मुझे 5 मिनट बाद स्टेज पे कुछ प्रेजेंट करने जाना है, आपने उस पर आर्टिकल लिखा है। देर आर टू आर्टिकल्स, एक ऐसा है जहाँ पे हेडिंग्स और सब हेडिंग्स अच्छे से डिफाइन की गई है, एक है जहाँ पे हेडिंग्स और सब हेडिंग्स नहीं है। What headings and subheadings will do is it will make it easier for me कि it will make it easier for me to see कि इस आर्टिकल में मुझसे रिलेवेंट कोई बातें हैं यानी जो मैं अपने स्पीच में या अपने discussion में यूज करूँ। So if your article is scannable, people will read it. If it is not scannable, headings subheadings define नहीं है, कोई नहीं पढ़ पाएगा because no one is interested. So मेक श्योर कि आप हेडिंग्स एंड सब हेडिंग्स अच्छे से डिफाइन करें अपने आर्टिकल में एंड मेक इट मच मोर स्कैनेबल एंड easier for the person in front of you, that is who is the reader, to understand. Format of the article, I'm pretty sure you all are aware of this, but this is the format. Abstract and introduction, the body of the article, use of authorities and conclusion. ये बहुत basic format है जो सब follow करते हैं while you're writing your articles, and this is what we want our interns to follow. तो एब्स्ट्रैक्ट बेसिकली आपके टॉपिक का जिस्ट देता है कि आपने इस पर्टिकुलर पेपर में, इस पर्टिकुलर आर्टिकल में क्या बात की है, आप क्या डिफेंड करना चाहते हो उस आर्टिकल के थ्रू, ये बात आपका एब्स्ट्रैक्ट बताता है। इंट्रोडक्शन ऑन द अदर हैंड इंट्रोड्यूसेस द टॉपिक, ये टॉपिक के बारे में एक एलैबोरेट डिस्कशन चालू करता है। तो द मेन डिफरेंस बिटवीन एब्स्ट्रैक्ट एंड इंट्रोडक्शन इज देयर पर्पस. Introduction introduces your topic and abstract defends your article or paper. It gives the reader an idea कि इस particular article में जो reader है वो क्या बात जो writer है वो क्या बात कर रहा है. Then is the body and the content of the article, obviously really important part. So बॉडी एंड कंटेंट, इसमें आप ऑब्वियसली जो भी आप चीज़ें डिस्कस करना चाहते हैं विद द पीपल, it can be the background history, adding case laws, and talking of various legislations on a particular topic. ये सब आपका बॉडी और कंटेंट में जाता है. And then use of authorities. Using authorities is really important because what it does it is it ensures कि आपने जो भी पॉइंट्स लिखे हैं आप उसको डिफेंड कर पा रहे हो अच्छे से. Authorities basically backs up your information. Say for example, I am stating कि there has been a rise of rape cases in India. If I use the official data given by NCRP, then that will be something really useful in the particular case as it will help back the information. And lastly, a conclusion. So those are some things about research, and I'll just show you two articles and tell me the difference and tell me which one looks better. Will we get the recording of the session? Yeah, we'll try to provide an recording of the session. How ma'am does these points also in case, and definitely it will help you because even you'll get an idea on what to write. So let me just open two documents and you all tell me which one looks better. So this one, both of them are an article written by interns of our previous months. I'll just open them side to side and you tell me which one is better. Uh, okay, so tell me if my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So these are the two documents. First, I'll open this one and I hope you all can have a look. This is the first document, as you all can see. There's nothing to read here. Just have a look at it, see it, and you'll know what I'm talking about. So this is the first article that an intern has submitted. So Here is the first article and the references. Now, um, this is the second article, and this also submitted by another one of our interns. And yeah, this is the article basically. Now tell me, you all, which article did you feel is easier to read and understand? Which article looked better and pleasing to the eye? And which article was much easier? Second looked better. Can anyone tell me why? What is why it is
Ma'am,
better? Yes, Nehal.
I guess second one is better as it is describing its headings and subheadings particularly and describing what the heading is trying to say. It is properly mentioned in that heading. That's why
Yeah,
second is fascinating to the eyes.
true. And also because of its presentation and proper line spacing in second one. Yeah, true. It is more precise and consistent and proper. True, true. Yes, very true. So that is why now you understand why defining headings and subheadings is really important and what I mean by scannability. Now, if these two articles are given to me side by side, I'll obviously prefer the second one because it will be much easier for me to see if that article is having something talks about anything that is relevant to me. And hence that is why second one is much more better. And also one of you, I guess only one has stated because it has proper line spacing and formatting. Yes, true. Sorry guys, give me a second. Yeah, apologies for the delay. So now, when we talk of articles, it does not just have to be pleasing to the eye, but it must also it does not have to be it does not have to be relevant information, but it should also look pleasing to the eye. So, until and unless the article is pleasing, no one would be interested. So, what you must do to make sure that your article is also as pleasing is to ensure that you follow the format that has been prescribed to you when you're going for competitions or while you're doing your internship. Now, so for example, we have prescribed that. You must write headings in Times New Roman 12 and the body in Times New Roman 11 and put a spacing of 1.5. You use Harvard Blue Book for your references and citations and so on. When if you do this, your article will look much more better than if you do not use it. So also ensure
Excuse me,
that
ma'am.
you yes, Aman.
Ma'am, can you please tell me again what is the font size of heading, subheading, and line spacing?
Yeah, that was just an example. But if something is not prescribed, then always use Times New Roman 12 for your body and 14 for your headings and subheadings, have for headings and 12 for your subheadings as well. To differentiate between headings and subheadings, what you can do is you can
Body is
write
in
the heading.
11.
Pardon?
Body size, body font size is in 11 or 12.
It depends. I'm just giving you an example. If something is specified, please go according to that. If it is not, then you can use body size Times New Roman 11. It's fine.
Thank you.
Yes, we have. I believe the in WhatsApp group they have been sent. If not, I'll make sure that it is done today. Also, there are just two more things that I wanted to discuss, and then if anyone has any query, we'll come to that. Now let's talk of plagiarism. Does anyone know what plagiarism is? And let me just stop sharing for once. Does anyone know what plagiarism is? You can just write it in the chat box. What you understand by the term? Obviously, you all have heard it. Cut, copy, paste. Okay, kind of true. Cut, copy, paste, copied content. Yes. Originality of content. Okay, there's no originality. Okay, okay, got it. Yeah, basically if you steal someone else's work without giving them proper credit, as Jagriti has stated. So, yeah, that is something that will come under plagiarism. It is really important to also abide by the guidelines regarding plagiarism that have been given. I cannot give you exact details on what you must do to avoid plagiarism, but yeah, never intentionally plagiarize, please, guys, because it is something that is really unethical. Always use quotation marks and references if you are using someone else's work, because it indicates that this work is quoted from someone else or is quoted from some other source. Paraphrase. Now people think that okay, मैंने paraphrase मैंने paraphrase कर लिया, मैंने words jumble कर दिए, यहाँ के वहाँ कर दिए, अब हो गया, अब तो article plagiarize नहीं है, अब तो सब set है. But नहीं guys, ऐसा नहीं होता. Paraphrase करना is not a solution to avoid plagiarism. So यस, पैराफ्रेज करो, बट इवन इफ यू पैराफ्रेज, रेफर कर दो जिस जो ओरिजिनल ऑथर है या फिर जो भी ओरिजिनल सोर्स है ऑफ योर इंफॉर्मेशन. गिव रेफरेंस टू देम. Always, while using facts, cite them. Copy phrases with special caution, specifically if you're someone who has no idea of a particular language. Always credit people for their ideas and avoid using AI. Now, many a times, I guess आपके introductory session में मैंने बोला था don't use chat GPT and AI for writing your articles. This is one of the reason, because वो आपका article तो लिख के दे देगा, but that article will not be fit for publications. Even if you're writing academically, it will not be fit for academic publications as well, because AI जो होता है वो आपको 100% plagiarism free content देता नहीं है, ना ही आपको references देगा वो. So it will be a problem for you all. So avoid using AI for writing your particular research papers and articles. And citations, since we are talking of plagiarism, citations तो important है ही. तो क्यों important है citations? Firstly, to show the reader that you have done proper research. Secondly, to be a responsible scholar and student by giving credit. Because अगर मेरा कोई ओरिजिनल रिसर्च है और कोई मुझसे बिना पूछे, बिना मुझे प्रॉपर क्रेडिट दिए उसको अपने आर्टिकल में साइट कर रहा है, ऑब्वियसली आई विल नॉट फील गुड अबाउट इट. तो सोचो, अगर आप ऐसा कर रहे हो तो सामने वाले को कैसा लगेगा? ऑब्वियसली ही विल आल्सो नॉट फील गुड अबाउट द सेम. So be a responsible scholar, be a responsible student, and give credit to them. To avoid plagiarism, use words that are used by other authors or that are of other authors. It is important to know what you must cite. Facts. Facts are important. Always remember this is not a full page. Apart from that, अगर आप किसी की theory refer कर रहे हो, किसी की words, किसी के express ideas आप use कर रहे हो, या फिर your exact language of another person used in other publication, books, chapters, articles, web pages, thesis, basically anything that is not yours and that you have not applied your mind and heart to for writing, and that you have taken from some other place or some other person or some other source, it must be cited and proper credit must be given to that particular person. Now, when we are talking of citations, so there are many citation styles. There's MLA, ILI, SILC. Then there's the Harvard Blue Book, which is most generally used. So what we prescribe is Harvard Blue Book, the 20th edition. Now the session is not on citation, so I don't know if we could do that. But if any one of you has ever done Harvard Blue Book citations, just raise your hand. Or if you have ever written a research paper for that matter of fact, just raise your hand so I know how many of you have an idea of citation. Okay, one. Anyone else who has written a research paper or research article? Two. I see two hands. Three, four. So four, five. Okay. So I'll just show you all the citation style. I believe it has been shared in the group, and Yes, Simran, you'll get weekly topics. So I believe it has been shared in the group. So the document shared makes it pretty easy to understand. This is the Harvard Blue Book 20th edition. You can find it on the net as well. We have gotten it from there. It gives you basically citation for books, for cases, for statutes, for articles, for online sources and journals, and IBIT Supra Infra. These are something that you must know. So this is the Harvard Blue Book. They have also given you examples, so it'll be easier for you all when you are doing citations. So as you can see, the general rule of citation is first you'll have to write the volume number of the book, if there is any. Then you'll have to write the author's name, the title of the book, the page number, and publisher's name and year of publishing. So you can see this example that I've highlighted. This is the D.D. Basu, second edition, Constitution of India, page number 201, and uh, year of publishing 2010. So then coming to cases which we'll mostly use, very simple, plaintiff versus defendant or appellant respondent or applicant respondent, comma the citation. Citations you can find it on the net very easily. If not, whatever source you're using, वहाँ पे लिखा ही होगा, and generally everyone uses the blue book. So it'll be you can just copy the citations from there if you're referring to any book. For that matter of fact, and आपका citation blue book के according ही होगा, and that is the case 90% of the time, not 100%. तो एक बार cross check कर लीजिएगा. Coming to statutes, the short title of the act, then this S refers to the section, that is the specific section being referred to. Use the symbol and then write the section. So they have written the Banking Regulation Act 1949, which is the short title of the act. Then section 3, then number, acts of parliament, year of the act, and country in abbreviation. So this is the 10th act. So they have written number 10, comma, acts of parliament 1949, because the act is of 1949, and country's abbreviation, that is India. So this is about something about citation. Now you all must have been assigned um okay, ma'am, I can't understand how to use Harvard Blue Book. It is really easy. Just try it once, and if you still face a problem, we can just have a session on a proper session. I'd say a dedicated session on citations. Just give it a go, because आप जब तक ट्राई नहीं करोगे आपको समझ नहीं आएगा. एंड ट्रस्ट मी, इट इज फ्रॉम माय पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस. जब आप कोई चीज़ खुद से सीखते हो ना, तो वो याद रहती है. So try it, Swasti Deepa. And if not, if you still face a problem, you have your internship coordinators. You can always contact them, and they'll be there to help you. Ma'am, where we have to submit our daily updates. This daily updates you'll have to give in your WhatsApp group. Just map sub add hai. And do we have to focus precisely on Indian law? What is? It depends on your topic. If your topic says that your if your topic is related specifically to a particular Indian law, there's no need to focus on the law in general of other countries. But if it is a comparative study, so that is also known as comparative research that we do. If it is that, then refer to laws in general of others on states as well. And when we write citation, we have to write number. When you're doing citation, you press Control plus Alt plus F. So you do this function, you do not have to write, numbers are automatically generated. You do not have to write. And if you face an issue in that, what you can do is references dal dijiye. Can we also use tables in article? Yeah, definitely you can use tables in the article. You can use any facts, figures, tables, anything that is relevant in your article, any source. But whatever source you're using, just cite it. Can we use pictures? You can use pictures, no doubt, but I don't think they'll have much of an impact or will make much of a difference actually, because we are more concerned with what is the work that you're doing rather than how you know interesting it is. So just I'd say follow the format of your article that has been prescribed. So that will be much more than enough. However, if you do want to add pictures, go ahead. You can do that. It'll make your article much more beautiful, and yeah, that is welcome. Just ensure that, yeah, even if you're taking pictures, because I know, yeah, even if you take pictures, you'll take it from internet. So wherever you take pictures from, just mention its source in a text box in short, so that it's easier for us all. Do that. Ma'am, can we make flowcharts and all? Yeah, definitely. Go ahead. You can use flowcharts and tables and everything in any place necessary. So if it is necessary, definitely use them. It'll be much more interactive and better looking and good. If anyone has any query regarding your internship tasks or this particular session, short session that we had, you can ask me now. I'll try to solve your queries. What can we do when the topic is not familiar? So when the topic is not familiar, what you do is type the top. What I did, what I used to do, and which all actually helped me. If it is a particular law, uh, then first read that Bayer Act or read the law and try to understand it, what that law is. If it is a topic, say it's not specifically related to a particular law at hand, write it down in Google, read 2 to 3 articles, you'll get an idea on what the topic is and what you must be writing in your research paper. So do that. It will be much more easier to then make your arguments of research paper. If you still face an issue, as I've stated time and again, your coordinators are always there to help you. So just reach out to them and they'll explain the topic to you all. Ma'am, on 5 when we have to, see, you can submit it any time before 11:59 p.m. So 11:59 is the deadline. तो तब तक कभी भी आप submit कर सकते हैं. You're most welcome, Ansh. Any other questions, anyone? Okay, if you can just type it in the meantime, and I have a small announcement. So I don't know if the news has reached you all, but since most of you all are law students, we have a session with Muskan ma'am on the 4th of November. Do join the session. In that session, ma'am will be giving you all tips on how to earn money in college. So it is the topic and for all of us. And yeah, most of us do want to get independent. So yeah, you can definitely join that session. Apart from that, we have a session of ADR on the 11th of November, and we also have a session on 20th of November. So anyone of you who's interested in the topics of alternate dispute resolution, IPR, trademarks, and anyone who's interested to know how you can earn money as a law student, definitely join these sessions. We'll be sharing the links with you all in your central group. So just go through it. If those topics interest you, please do join the session. Is there any list of websites for research? Um, Talking of a list of websites for research, now the problem with online sources is that the information is very scattered and not 100% accurate. So try to avoid using website content. Instead, use textbooks, which are a little bit more better. Use case comments, which are obviously available, and laws. For laws, you can directly go to Bayer Act on their commentaries. Now talking of websites, websites like SCC, Manupatra have a good amount of content in them. However, if you do not have the access, then that will be an issue. We do not suggest using other websites, but if necessary, you can just refer to any content that is available. Apart from that, if you're searching for case, then specifically I'd suggest go to SEC, go to Manupatra. You can go to the official website of Supreme Courts and High Courts where you can get cases. So go to these websites for authentic information. So in articles we just talk about it, or we can make. Uh, Fatima, your question or statement isn't clear. Could you please be a little more precise about what you wanted to ask? And yeah, if anyone has any other query, please do write it in the chat box. Can you send us this website? Yeah, definitely. We'll share the links of all these websites. If you want, you can refer to any of them. I want to. So if you're copying judgment wala part, as you said, उसमें भी सीन है प्लेगरिज्म का. तो आप अगर किसी जजमेंट का कोई भी कंटेंट यूज कर रहे हो, वर्ड टू वर्ड आप यूज कर रहे हो, इवन अगर आप पैराफ्रेज भी कर रहे हो, आई सजेस्ट कि पैराफ्रेज मत करो जजमेंट को. uh, अगर कुछ पे ऐसा पार्ट लिख रहे हो, ट्राई कॉपी पेस्ट कर लो, आसानी होगी. तो हाँ, अगर वो कर रहे हो तो भी जो judgment होगा, the number that is its citation, you'll have to mention. Are we supposed to? No, you are not supposed to update your work on Excel sheet. Excel sheet is just for you all to see your topics. That's it. जो आपका update है, वो आपका जो coordinator है वो करेगा once your task is done. Um, that is for the coordinator to update, not you all. And I was talking about anxious query. So yeah, about that, if you're using judgment and उसका कोई भी part आप लिख रहे हो, तो judgment अगर आप use कर रहे हो for at first place, so obviously you'll have to write the both the parties का नाम and the citation. So mention तो आपको करना ही पड़ेगा. तो हाँ, plagiarism का सीन उसमें होता है, और citation आपको उसकी mention करनी पड़ेगी. That's that. And it's 7. I hope you all have updated your work in your internship groups. And whoever has not, please do that as soon as the session ends. And what about declaration? What about declaration authorship? Madhu, basically, the declaration form just states that this XYZ article is written by you and submitted by you to Legal Vidhiya on so and so date. And yeah, in future, if a dispute arises on that article, so liability kiski hogi, basically that's that. It's a formality that you'll have to do. So even जब आप research paper वगैरह लिखते हैं, generally ये formality होती है whereby you'll have to submit a declaration form. Similarly, with us also, with every research task that you submit, you'll have to submit a declaration form. तो declaration form group में आ गया होगा, I believe. So with your first task, do send the declaration form. You're welcome. And does anyone have any other query? Please let me know in case you have a query. Oh, okay, great. So if you do not have a query, you can all just leave the session. And thank you so much for joining. I really hope ki, at least you had 1%, you learned at least 1% or 1 minute of something that I've said. Thank you so much, everyone, and I look forward to reading your beautiful articles. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Have a good day and happy holidays and happy festivities to you all in advance. Uh, you're most welcome.